working around in military equipment may seem like that is really simple. That it's really easy for somebody to really actually learn how to use a gun, a tank, or basically a jet or a plane, and basically or anything like that, or anything basically just like that. And basically, just so some people may not really understand the fundamentals. Basically, not really basically understand the fundamentals. Is just basically just all that. I think this basically was episode 3 of Mobile Suit Gundam GQ, but I'm just gonna call gonna call it that way. If you guys don't understand, it's called GQuuuuuuX or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's hard to pronounce. It really actually is. But one thing I really want to personally say here, and I don't want people to really think I'm being weird or anything like that. And one person want to say this is basically that I understand the main female protagonist, that she's young and stuff like that, and basic stuff, like basic stuff. But I just don't seem to understand like the basic that how she is, how to understand the mechanics and stuff like that. Pilot and Gundam Mobile Suit. It's kind of crazy. It really actually is. Really actually is. You don't get really a whole lot of people that are really good. You'll have a main female protagonist basically in Gundam anime that would be basically just be very good, just doing that, Because when it comes to other different animes based out, there's probably a lot better pilots, probably than her, basically from the older animes with the basic Gundam, which I really don't know really all that much. Pretty much all that much. Because I want to personally want to say here is basically that she is lacking in a way that she knows that she feels like that she's trying way too hard, or maybe that she's pushing herself way too hard. She does know how to fly a mobile suit. Yes, she knows how to fly it, but she does not know how to maneuver really all that well when it comes to basically what she's doing. One person want to say here is basically that she doesn't suck. She really does not. She's gonna have some trouble about the way that she's piloting basically of a mobile suit and stuff like that. She's not new or anything. She is new. That's all she really actually is. She just knew. That's all that basically from her. The person willing to say here is basically that she's lacking. She really actually is. I'm sorry, I'm kind of a little out of this speech or something. I do apologize for that. I'm so sorry. But anyways, what I'm trying to say here is basically that when I see her basically piloting a mobile suit, it kind of reminds me of different kind of mobile suits that we have seen, or mobile suit pilots that we have seen back in the past. It's just like basically with basically Kara Yamato. Kara Yamato is basically a coordinator, or I would say Earth Federation or coordinator or half force, as I would basically say, because he probably knows more than about the pilot and mobile suit, because he's pretty much fit for the mobile suit. But you also have to remember back then when it comes I think it was like episode 2 or 3 where he goes into space, because he doesn't know how to really basically pilot mobile suit basically in space, because he doesn't know how. That just doesn't mean because he knows how, because he's just a coordinator or anything like that, because he was not raised accordingly, or maybe that he just doesn't know the fundamentals when it comes to war, like what are we fighting for and stuff like that, and places like that. And I want to say this also too, because I don't mean to get off topic because of what I'm saying, but you have to remember that Chairman Durano makes some very good points, because what he talked about with Kara is basically what he sees from him. That's basically what he really actually is. But you also have to remember that Chairman Durano wanted to get rid of the kid, because you know why? Because he thinks that he's some kind of like a powerful god or something like that needs to be destroyed. That means, bam, he needs to, because that's what it basically feels to me. It's kind of like Lu Bu coming on the battlefield, Dynasty Wars. I mean, that guy's very extremely powerful. He pretty much goes after almost anyone who stands in his way. It just wipes them all out. It's just bam, that's what he does and stuff like that. Because he's a fierce fighter, because that's That's why a lot of people do fear him. It's not because he go rush out in the battle. He wants people to come up to him and then just wipe them out all at once. That's what I kind of feel about basically with Kara. But now with basically with this girl, basically this Amy, I can't remember her name. I think it's Mura, whatever her name is. And I think Mura is just that. I think that she is a pilot that she's lacking. I think that she is. She knows how to fly, but she has to learn. She has to learn to use different weapons in combat and basically stuff. What if they would have basically just give her a gun that she could really can use? Not like a gun like outside or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about like in space. In space, can she learn how to basically use that? That's the question. That's the question. Because even though yes, some of the people were right because what they said, like, oh yeah, she's just an amateur because that's just what basically that she is. Yes, she is amateur because of that. I don't want people to think I'm really insulting her character because that she is an amateur. I'm just saying because they are right because that she is amateur. But can she be much better? Yes, she can be much better. But I don't see her being an overpowered female based on this anime. I really don't see that really happening. I mean, because I just really don't. I don't see how that she will stack up against the rest of the other mobile suit pilots based out there in a generation of mobile suits of Gundam and stuff like that. I just don't see it really based that way. Is she compared to like the Strike Freedom? No. Is she compared to the Freedom? No. Is she compared to the Strike? In some way, yes. In some way, can she win against those? No. Other different mobile suits out there? No. I don't think she really can. But we don't know the true birth about the mobile suit that she's piloting because we really don't even know what kind of power that this mobile suit really doesn't have. Each and every different mobile suit Gundams based out there, mobile suit Gundam machines based out there, they do have their own unique power that they have. They always have. They always have that. Not every Gundam is perfect because it's really not. I want to say here also as well too because one person wants to say I don't mean to go on topic, but to go off topic about this. But I want to say here is that I don't hate the fact that the Strike Freedom has a new formula that he has for Kira the pilot, and also especially with Samurai Sword. I don't like that too very well because it doesn't really fit the style for Kira. I just don't like that too very well. But one thing I didn't like about that, it kind of just made like Kira more overpowered than I've seen in any other anime I have ever seen. Because the new equipment that made him so very, very powerful. But that doesn't mean because he's very, very powerful or anything like that. He's just only young. That's all he is. He's just only a teenager because he doesn't like I said before, he's just out there just basically just to save everyone. The movie is good. I have not given a review on that yet, but which I have not, but which I will in the future. But I think that what I'm trying to say here is basically, like I said, from what I see from her, Mura is basically to me is that I want to think that she is an amateur. She's not better than any other pilots basically out there, but she's going to have to learn. She's going to have to learn to basically how to adapt herself when it comes to that she's piloting in mobile suit. I don't expect her to be perfect. I don't expect that. That's like I said before. When it comes to other different animes, do I expect them to be perfect? No, because it doesn't really feel to me that they're going to be perfect because they're not perfect because they really are not. They really are not. Just because like episode 1, they're going to be overpowered just like that episode 1. No, because it takes a majority of time for them to basically do that because it doesn't really apply because of the machine that they have. That what makes them so powerful. It's because of them piloting the machine and learn how to adapt to use the machine. That would make them very powerful. It just really depends on the talent, but not the machine, but the talent that the person has. And with that talent, they need people like that. People like that. Also, one thing I also want to say here, I don't like this. I don't want people to think I'm being weird or anything like that. When it comes to younger people into a military, basically going into a military, I know this is just an anime, and this is just only just basically a difference that from real life and stuff like that. Because if they were to do something like that to draft younger people into the military, if that were to be my daughter or my son, I would have to say no, because I don't want them to basically to be killed out there in the battlefield. I'll be scared, to be honest with you. Yes, I'll be very scared to lose my child, to lose my daughter or my son. I don't want that to happen. I'm serious. I'm not joking. I don't want that to happen. But when they come like a little bit more older, yes, I would be happy for them to go out there. But would I be worried? Yes, I'd be worried. But if they were to say like, yeah, I want to go to, I'd say no. I want them to go to school, graduate, and maybe go to college or something like that, or maybe they just don't want to, or maybe they just want to do, basically going into the military and stuff like that. I mean, that's their choice. But you have to understand, people are willing to basically do that. It means that they volunteer. Now, when it comes to other different countries around the world and stuff like that, because they're forced to be drafted in, that means they are forced to be going into the military and stuff like that. And the reason why based of that, because that's just how, I guess, in my term, that's how it goes. That's what they do. That's what they're supposed to do, and stuff like that. And if they are not able to, do that, and if they say like no or something like that, then probably execute them, because that's pretty serious. It is. It's a very serious situation. And people just don't basically see that. And just like I said, because when it comes to basically some of the animes I've seen basically that like just basically like that. Because when it comes to Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny, just like what Shin said, like he says like we're different. We volunteer, but even though with the Earth Federation Forces, they forced them to do that. The reason why they forced them to do that because they feel this is something that they must do, and they brainwashed them and stuff like that. It's crazy. If you've never seen Gundam Seed or Gundam Seed Destiny, I definitely would recommend go watch it. I think it's a really good series. It's personally one of my favorite series of all time. Absolutely one of my favorites. But yeah. Anyway, so that's it for this video. I don't mean to go right on for a long time. And like I said, I don't want people to really think I'm just being weird because of what I'm saying here, basically in this episode of this review. I just want people to understand the aspects of what I've seen from generation molds of pilots from other different pilots that's in the past and stuff like that. So that's what I think. So yeah. But yeah, anyway, so that's it for today's review. Tell me what you guys think. You guys like this episode, you guys don't like it. I love having what you have to say. So yeah, anyway, so I'll see you guys later. Take care. Hope you guys have a good day. Don't forget to subscribe. Please consider subscribing. Please hit the like button, give me a thumbs up, or give me a thumbs down, and please leave a comment below. Anyways, I love you guys. Take care. Hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. God bless. I love you guys. Please stay. And remember, stay blessed. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.